Holding these as a prop now, we're gonna start with a little bit of a warm-up drill. Let's actually put them to the side, the swords and the bucklers. Because I gotta get you warm, guys, for other workshops and tournaments today. Okay, first, thank you for having me. I'm Bobo. I'm gonna be showing you some things with sword and buckler, and specifically things that put more emphasis on the buckler today. My approach usually is to first do things and then talk about them. So I usually give the drill, game, whatever we're gonna do, and then we can talk about it later. Of course, if you have any questions at any time, feel free to ask. If there are any lefties around, half of my students are lefties, so I'm a righty and a lefty by professional non-choice. We're gonna start with a little warm-up, which is gonna be relatively simple, just to get us moving. It's basically free play with hands. We're trying to touch the shoulder of the opponent, both shoulders, or both knees, one or the other. So do it lightly, try not to smash your hands, try not to smash your face. The first time I did a workshop, I showed that game, and we started immediately playing, and I managed to smash a girl on the nose. It wasn't funny at the time, it was funny later when I watched the video. So there is no, try not to parry. That's the thing. If you try to parry, if it happens accidentally, it's fine. If you try to parry, eventually someone is gonna smack their fingers. It's gonna be painful. So we're basically trying to find a way to, go. Yeah, just touch, don't make it into a blade. You want it to be relaxed so you don't smack your finger. And there is no after blows, it's only first hit. So if there is a touch, just move around. In the beginning, pick one leading hand and just use that one. Later on, like if you do a minute or two, you can start using both hands and it gets funnier. Pair up, do it for a couple of minutes, and we'll get back with some sword and buckler. Any questions, any clarity? It's just to get us moving. Yeah, knees, shoulders. For shoulder, imagine this, anything here is a valid touch. No hands, no chest. No anything else. That's just to get them warm, their bodies warm, the knee joints a little bit flexible and so on.
Awesome game.
Swords and bucklers. The funny part is that for the first one, you need only one of them. Let's put your buckler aside. Okay, it works there. Okay, our first drill is gonna be very simple. One person is only with the buckler, the other person is only with the sword. I would say for this, put at least mask and gloves. If you can, put a jacket as well. Our opponent has one task. Okay, I'm the defender, he's the attacker. These are our two basic roles. He has one task. His task is to throw 3 blows and have at least one of them land. He can throw whatever blows he wants, but I would say start with cuts only first, till you get warmed up. My goal as the defender is to parry at least 2 of those. So, just throw any 3 cuts. My goal is to just parry. Oh, I didn't parry the 3rd one, but I parried 2. I parried 2 hits, so I achieved some mild success, so I get a point. If he manages to get me, he also gets a point, so it's 1-1. We're playing this as a simple game. No need to over-focus on the points. They're just there to give you an indication of what is success, what is failure. If I parry all 3, I get 2 points, and he gets none. We play 3 exchanges like this, where I'm the defender and he's the attacker. Then we switch weapons, and we change the roles. I'm doing bam, bam, bam. 1 point for me, 1 point for you, because he got 2 parries. I got 1 hit in. If I get one hit in immediately, I get 1 point. He gets none. And if he parries again, if he parries all 3, he gets 2 points. 3 times you switch roles, you play 2 rounds. and you exchange partners.
Awesome.
And okay, everything's clear. Let's go. Oh, too close. Try to make them in succession. 1, 2, 3. Like, try to make them into the flow. You can make pauses, like you can make a pauses for a feint, but try to just throw 3 blows, especially in the beginning. Just make them parry. Okay, guys, switch partners, and you can add thrusts now. So switch partners, same game. You can also add cuts and thrusts. And again, try to hit your opponent. You don't need to go hard, but try to hit them. Good. Very nice. I love when there's no questions. Can you come in? Yeah. Okay, we'll continue with another drill. This one, we're using both weapons, finally. Both of us have a charge in our buckler. Our buckler is charged. When the buckler is charged, it means I can throw a cut with a sword or a thrust with a sword. I can throw any attack. The moment I throw that attack, my charge is wasted. And this is depleted, the battery is down, and I have to charge it up. To charge it up, I have to parry a blow. When I parry a blow, now I can deliver a hit. We both start with our bucklers charged. We can seek each other a bit. If I deliver a hit, by the way, I still waste my charge. The only thing that recharges my buckler is parrying a hit. There is no order. There is no who starts first. You can both go first. You can both go at the same time. If we both waste our charge, if we both throw hits and don't parry, we have to restart. So we have no charge, both of us. We have no way to recharge it because you're not allowed to throw a blow. So we have to restart. Now we're both charged up again. Which means if I throw a cut, if he throws a cut and I manage to move away or I manage to parry it, he has no charge left. So now he has to wait for me. He cannot attack me with his sword. He has to wait for me to pick. I can pick my favorite target and I can wait it out. And he has to wait for this. And now when he manages to parry, he has his buckler recharged and we can continue the game. It seems a little bit confusing at first. It's gonna be hard to follow what's happening with your buckler charge. Think only, have I thrown a hit? If I've thrown a hit and I haven't parried anything, I don't have a charge. But if it happens that we're doing things fast and I throw a hit, he throws a hit, I have just wasted my charge, I have recharged it, I can throw immediately another one. That's the game, try it out. Don't go too hard, keep it playful. So by playful, I mean, at this level of intensity, you don't need to go too hard. There is blows after blows, you don't need to think about how they count. It's not that important. Yes?
Question, does parrying with your blade also charge your buckler?
No, that's the thing. You can parry with your sword, but it doesn't charge your buckler. Only parrying with the buckler charges it. Yes?
Direct actions only, or can you do compound attacks?
You can do compound attacks. But the moment you touch something, whether it's the opponent or his buckler, you lose your charge. Yeah.
You whiff, you lose your charge?
If you
Fully miss?
if your blade is just wandering around, I wouldn't count that as a miss. If you do a direct attack and it's void, yeah, you lose it.
I'm gonna go put my leg protection on.
Yes, if you want, put leg protection on. If you trust your partner, if you want, just hit the upper thighs. You both wasted the charge, now you're both recharged by the gods. Switch partners, find someone else. Let's do another small round of it.
Question.
Yes.
If my sword isn't charged, I can still parry with my sword, right? It's just better to parry with my buckler.
Yeah, you can still parry, but you don't charge and you cannot continue striking. Yeah.
Okay.
If you don't remember, just restart. It happens often in this game, no worries. Oh, nice. Okay, guys, let's gather around. I hope you had fun with this one. I know it's, let me grab weapons. I know that this one is a little bit of a head scratcher because, and a lot of, even when people who played it a lot play it, there's still times when you're, am I charged? Is he charged? What's happening? Yeah, that's normal. If you don't know what's happening and you play this game in the future, just, if there's some confusion, just restart it. The goal of this game is to give you a simple, defined order of how things could happen perfectly, in an idealized version, when you want to parry riposte, when you want to follow a simple structure of actions. One person acts, the other parries, one person acts, the other parries. And it's, of course, a little bit focused on the buckler. Any questions, any issues that arose during play?
So if you block with the sword and buckler, would that count as a charge?
If it touches the buckler, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, those kind of minutiae are fun. Yes.
So I think one of the things that I found
Yeah.
effective and fun with it was simply, if we're not sure who's charged, just reach out, recharge my opponent so we can keep playing.
Yeah, that works as well. Keep in mind, a lot of these types of games have they have weird questions which are like borderline, does this count, or they have weird situation like this. Think of it as a game where the goal is to keep playing. So if there's an issue that you're not sure how to deal with, just wave it off. It's not like anyone's judging and counting points and giving out medals for winning the sparring game, so it doesn't really matter. Okay, let's continue. Anything else? Anyone found anything interesting?
Sorry. Something I thought was interesting was if we got in kind of like a little bit of a stalemate because, you know, it's like, oh, okay, well, now we're being like super cautious.
Yes.
Or we're just kind of hit their sword with my buckler. I mean, is that?
That's the. We're gonna get to this in a bit, but yes, this is the one option that arises as a kind of a cheat in the game, and it's on purpose. And we're gonna go to that in the not this drill, the next drill. In this drill, can you come in? Yeah. In this drill, the next drill that we're gonna do, we will have a little bit of a, we're still doing a parrying drill, but we have a little bit of a special condition. So we have one fencer who can do anything he wants. You're the fencer who can do anything he wants. By anything he wants, I mean cuts and thrusts but please keep the cuts above the knees. This is tied to the exercise, not just to your, whether you have protection or not. Just keep all attacks above the knees. The other person, and you have the option to try to hit me with 2 attacks. If you can hit me with 2 attacks, perfect. I have to parry those 2 attacks, and then I can attack, which means I cannot parry and thrust immediately. I have to parry at least twice, and then I can attack. And I have one more condition. I cannot extend the buckler forward. I can only move the buckler if with my triceps or back of the arm connected to my torso. Which means you can do this, you can go here, but your well, I wouldn't say elbow exactly, at least to me the elbow doesn't contact much, but the triceps should be in contact with your torso at all times. Which means keeping it here, you can go low. The reason we are throwing out leg hits because you cannot extend to parry with them. So this is the, yes?
If you're really short and you want to protect your head, do you have to
You want to do this if you want to cover here, or this if you want to cover on this side. You can bend your body in all kinds of ways, but this has to remain in contact. You can go as high as here, and you can just cover your head like this. So this works. And you have to, if you cannot bring it higher, you have to compensate with a body lean. So this is, let's play it out. You're the attacker, you have 2 blows, and my job is just to parry. Yeah, just throw 3 blows anyway. When I parry, I can throw a blow. Yes, you can parry as well. My only goal is I can throw any attack I want. If your partner has protection, you can throw low because you're in a worse position. If a double happens, it's for the person who is with the retracted position. I would say count that as a win for that person. The other person just needs to get a clean hit.
Now, are both people retracted?
No.
Okay.
I'm the one locked in like this, you're not. We do 3 exchanges, then we switch rows. I am finally spreading my wings, and you're locked in your position. Yep, and that's a point for you.
1 attack back from the person who's defending initially.
The person, whether they can do 1 attack, they can do, yeah, that's a good question. Sorry, I didn't. Yes, both people can do 2 attacks. The person who is defending just has to parry twice before he does it, before they do it. So yes, throw 2 attacks, nice, yeah. I managed to do this. I can throw 1, parry it, yeah? If he parries it, I can throw another one. So both of us have 2 attacks. The person defending just can use his only after he has parried twice.
And doubles go to, it's doubles.
Doubles go to the person who is with their wings clipped, let's say, we'll call it.
Sorry if you went over this. Can you parry with your sword also if you're the defender?
No. That's the magic, just the buckler. Just keep your sword, you can somewhere retract it. And don't keep it in front if you're the defender. So the other person can be in front and working with his tip. You should be with the sword somewhere retracted. I would not advise to go here. We can try it, but you're gonna quickly lock yourself up. You can go here. Basically try not to have the point pointing towards the opponent. These are the options for the other person. For me, these are the options I have. And this stays locked in. Now, if you, in the beginning, some of you are gonna do this, it's fine, you just lose the exchange and you restart. It's gonna happen. Okay, pair up and try it. Yes?
So as the open tensor,
Yeah?
I only get 2 attacks?
2 attacks.
Only
yeah.
2, okay, great.
Yeah, you can parry afterwards, but only parry.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
Okay, guys, switch partners, and also try to be an asshole and abuse the fact that your opponent has his arm tucked. So try to use that against them as much as you can. Try to go high, go low, confuse them. Just try to play the game to win as much as you can. Always fine? Yeah, it gets tiring. All those types of games are, because it's a very defined structure, when you do like 20 reps, you're exhausting the same kind of muscles and it gets really tiring. Yeah. I hope you're having fun with it?
Yeah, oh yeah, no, I really like these drills. These are,
Yes, it's really fun.
Okay guys, let's gather around. So I hope you enjoyed this one, even though it's a bit weird. I would only add that most of you started being way too nice to your opponent. These drills, it's good to be nice to your partner when you're starting out and figuring out the drill. But to maximize what you can get out of it, you have to gradually become an asshole. Which means try to figure out how to make it hard for them, even how to game the rules of it. Make it so they are challenged all the time after the initial like warm-up phase. So keep that in mind with all those types of games. I don't mention points because I give the idea of points or trying to hit not because we are trying to be competitive in the sense of the same way in a tournament. We're trying to be competitive to be able to put measurable pressure on each other. And not become too comfortable and find out what the limitations are, especially when we have a drill where we have a defined like a limitation of movement or a limitation of time. And it's good to know, to have your partner abuse those limitations so you can see where the line is, what you can do and what you cannot do, even if you try very hard and see where the limits are. Any questions regarding this game or any strange experiences you had with it? Yes?
Way more tiring to hold my buckler against me than to hold it out in front.
Weirdly enough, people complain about the opposite. Haven't you noticed? People complain all the time, oh, this is too tiring. But this, if you're just doing this, this is also too tiring. Yeah. Some context. One of the reasons, there are two reasons for this drill. The first reason is that a lot of sword and buckler training focuses on extending the arm. But in the sources, you can see that even in distance, a lot of positions, a lot of parries, a lot of positions are shown with the buckler relatively close. And all of you who fence sword and buckler sometimes parry like that. Because you need to, because sometimes if you're trying to intercept something traveling far, you're gonna get hit in the arm, or it's too far. Sometimes you're late and you just don't have the time to go here, and you go here because you don't have the tempo to do it. But most people, I haven't seen most people train those kinds of parries specifically. And in my experience, they in some cases are more useful than the extended parries, because this action takes time, and this extension opens the buckler arm for cuts, and for thrusts even. The other reason is that these kinds of drills develop, I would say, agility with the buckler. When people start doing sword and buckler, like the one thing that you tell to people is just put it forward and cut around it. And that's a good starting point. But eventually, you need to start treating it like a weapon and placing it and being able to move it in space as easily and as dexterously as you can the sword. And in a way, I specifically hold them pretty much in the same way and think of them as the same kinds of weapons. And we're coming up to the next drill. Can you come in for a second? Yeah. So here we're gonna actually get to what the description of the workshop is, and do a drill where we have to initiate with the buckler. So in most cases, we've done so far, the initial attack and extension is with the sword, and then the buckler does a parrying function. Now we're gonna do things differently. To set it up, we need to have our defender in a relatively fixed position, so it can get easy to replicate. So the defender can only move, he has to pick one leg, and he can move around it, but not any more than that. So I pick one leg, I can move around it, and that's my limit. You're the defender, and the other thing is the defender has to have the sword in a point forward guard. Now you can get a little bit lower, you can get a little bit higher, but you cannot go out of here initially. My task as the attacker, I have to hit him somehow, but I have a prerequisite. I have to first make contact with my buckler to his blade. So I have to do something like this. You can do whatever you want. The only thing is that before being able to strike him with my sword, I have to make contact with my buckler on his blade. You can try doing it you can try doing them as a beat. You can try catching the point. You can try other things, figure them out. What are his options? Aside from the fact that he can move back and forth, before I make that contact, he cannot do anything else. So even if I enter here, he's not allowed to thrust me yet. The moment I make contact, you can act. Yeah. You can go around the buckler, you can try to engage something else. Yes, you can do anything you like. Your task is to wait it out till I make contact. When I make contact, get your sword out in some way and hit me somewhere. Doesn't matter where. Any doubles go for him. There is no after blows, so just the first hit. My task, again, as the attacker, go hit. That's a point for me. His task is to get his point out somehow. The moment I touch you, then you can go. Yeah. So the moment I engage this, then he can go. After. What?
Can I move my feet before you touch
Yes, you can move your feet before, but you cannot move your sword before. So yeah, you can move your feet, but notice that if you move your feet now, you don't have the option anymore to move further back. After this happens, so if I engage and he goes for a cut, I can parry this with the sword now, because I've activated the initial requirements, which is to make the touch. I can do this parry and throw a cut. That's fine. And to limit the thing so it doesn't become a spar, all of us have a maximum of 2 attacks, both of us. So to recap, at the defender, you do it 3 times and you switch rows. Defender can move back and forth around 1 foot, whichever one he chooses. He cannot act with the weapons until I engage. I cannot act with my sword until I engage and hit. Any questions? Anything missing?
Once we're in the crate, can I move my feet freely, or am I?
No, you're locked to like that till the end of time.
Okay,
But the doubles all go to you.
Yeah, the doubles all go to you. Okay. So you can just double them if you want. Yeah. And by the way, I know it sounds weird, but especially if you get tired and you're the defender and the attacker is abusing you, you can just double them as a pedagogical exercise. Okay, let's go. Try to provoke him to come when he has to cover a lot of distance, then pull back, and this will give you the option to easily snipe him while he's dueling with his buckler. You're the attacker. So, okay, you can go with the sword and buckler together, but it's also good to have it as a little bit to the side, so he doesn't feel that this is a threat. Here he knows it's a threat. He knows that if you engage this, you're going for this. So try some variations where you keep it a little bit retracted. So he doesn't feel this is a danger, and by the time he realizes it's a danger, you've already got him. And you can do the same thing You can do the same kinds of attack. Just work it out so it's he's thinking that this is the threat and this isn't yet.
Okay.
Nice. Hey, if someone is going, this is one example. If someone is going repeatedly for one target, this is the moment where you can think, okay, this is time to double them.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, because then you, it's not about just you being winning the game. It's about getting them out of their comfort zone. Because if he becomes too comfortable just doing one thing, he's gonna stop learning from that. You have to break up the comfort so he can figure out another way to do it.
Gotcha. Thank you.
No problem. Nice. Very nice. Joe, you were going with the... You went with the blade first, not the buckler.
But I didn't hit him until I hit the buckler.
Yeah, but you engaged blade, then buckler, then you gotta engage buckler first.
Okay.
Buckler first. You don't need to always do a wide action. Can you do the same as you were doing?
Yeah.
Yeah. The moment they engage your buckler, you don't need to always try to go for a cut. A cut takes time. You can just slide in and enter with a thrust. In fact, when people are trying to beat your sword, it's usually best to answer with the thrust because thrusts require less time to set up. Cuts require wind-up. And if someone is going with a beat, they already have a plan for you. So if someone goes with a... can you extend the point? Thank you. If someone goes to do this, they already have a plan. And if you want to try to do a cut after if you have to do a cut, it usually takes time. If you... can you push on my... If you just do this, you have a lot shorter time. And usually with the buckler, it's not like they can smash your sword in the ground, so you have the dexterity to do a... This is basically... can you extend the blade, sorry? You know this kind of disengagement? You can disengage the sword, you can also disengage the buckler in the same way. Try it. Yeah, the buckler is a weapon, so it can be disengaged. Nice. Okay, can you tell me, by the end of the drill, what was your most successful approach to do the beat with the buckler or to engage with the buckler? When you were the attacker and when you had to do this with the buckler in some way, what was the most successful approach that you had?
I looked where their blade was.
Yes.
And tried to force them offline so that I could take advantage of the opening given, whether that was up into the torso or down into the throat.
Perfect. Anyone had anything different as an approach that worked well?
My most successful approach, you said, was cheating.
How did you cheat?
I would bind them with the sword first.
Cheater.
But then I would ride that in, and as soon as the buckler touched, then I was in deeper and I was able to have a little more control.
Yes.
Because if I tried to just stuff them with the buckler, they would cut off and hit me every single time.
That's the reason that cheat works is because, naturally this is shorter than this. So engaging just with the buckler, in a lot of cases, if the opponent is not nicely extended, doesn't work quite well. So if you see an opponent who is pulled back, this is not the best idea. Because they have too much space to withdraw, to move the sword around. This approach is best when the person is like really afraid of you and he wants to keep you away. And then you can engage the tip and it's easier because he's the guy who's extended like this is already spent. He's already overextended and you can work from that easier. Of course, this is a drill. This is not a technique to use. This is the concept of this is again the fact that sometimes you can take the fore, you can take the initiative with the buckler. And I've seen some of you also do the follow-up. So you make the beat and you follow in and continue to restrict the weapon. That's great. That's one of the best ways to ensure that, yeah, can you? That's one of the best ways to ensure, pointed towards me. Yeah, so it's a threat and I cannot just go in. Yeah, so that's one of the best ways to ensure that I'm continuing to some kind of level of control. It's not gonna be the same as this, but a lot of the time it's gonna be similar enough that it's gonna do the job, and the job is essentially to allow me to do this and get out. Yeah. Also working it from both sides. Yeah, I did the cheating. See how it comes naturally when you don't have to. When you do it from the cross side, I think some of you tried it, not many, you will see that you end up in the position from the previous drill. Because if you keep this extended here, you're becoming very open. So people, when they start doing it, they tend to start keeping the buckler close. And this is also why we trained those kinds of parries. Again, strangely enough, I'll pull something from Rapier. Giganti has Nicoletto Giganti has a very nice explanation on Rapier and Dagger and how to basically place your Rapier and Dagger in counter positions towards the opponent. His logic is this. Your opponent stays on some guard. It doesn't matter what it is. You want to place your dagger, or your buckler in this case, where his sword is. And you want to place your blade where his buckler isn't. This is my goal, and this is, he explains it as a passive placement, but it's fencing, so nothing is really passive. So the moment I do this, of course, he'll feel a threat and he'll start covering with his buckler. So I move the sword, and then I have to cover his sword with my buckler and find a way to find somewhere where his buckler isn't covering. With all two weapons, different weapons, it's like this. The more defensive weapon, so to speak, covers the offensive one, the more offensive one tries to seek to avoid the defensive one. If you develop enough dexterity with this weapon, it can be both offensive and defensive. And we're gonna do just one more drill, and we're gonna do it shortly, but I wanted to cover this because I'm glad it's not like this here, but in a lot of places in the world, buckler strikes are not allowed, in tournaments specifically, sometimes even in classes. I've been to tournaments where you can get black carded for a buckler hit. Can I get someone with a mask? Can you put on a mask? Thank you. Oh, good, you have a big protector. So I want to do a small little drill as a finish. So we can do some buckler strikes and figure out how we can throw buckler strikes, but throw them in a relatively safe way. So for this, we're gonna start in a distance where our swords touch. We don't have a defined attacker. Whoever manages to gain some level of control over the other person with some level of pushing. So if I push, I manage to gain control and I manage to get close. I'm trying to get here and deliver a light hit. That's my task. If he manages to push me, I can defend myself, go in, I can defend myself with my buckler, but I cannot do anything else. So you have to recognize when your partner has priority, so to speak. The moment they manage to gain, to close off your sword, wait them out, parry, and if you manage to parry, yeah, if you manage to parry, that's a win for you. You have one attempt. Let's do it again. Again. Yep. Now, you're gonna become competitive a little bit. The goal of this this game, is to manage to throw that buckler strike that even if he misses, you're not gonna strike hard. And to facilitate that, as the defender, the moment your partner covers you and starts striking, sometimes you can just allow them to hit you. Like every 3 blows, allow them to hit you. So he's thinking, I'm gonna parry, I'm not gonna parry, and he has to hit me in a way that doesn't rattle my brain. So maybe do that with someone you know, for starters. But generally, to explain the mechanics of, again, I'll explain the setup again so it's not confusing. We're starting here. One of us is gonna decide at random that they're gonna push and make some, take some control. The moment I decide to take control, I go for a hit. I do it a couple of times, or you do it a couple of times. And when once in a while, you don't parry. You just allow me to hit you. Yeah. Or you do it, and I wait you out. I parry once, I parry twice, and for example, the third time, I allow you to hit. Now, the important part. If you want to be able to hit with this and make it in a way that it's safe, but it's still functional, have your grip relaxed. You're not parrying, so you don't need to hold it tight. Have your grip relaxed, even a little bit like floating in your hand. And so as not to strike with this sometimes happens. Think of it like a sword and think of it delivering a strike with this empty space here. So it's almost like I'm trying to do a small slap. And when you do the blow, relax your arm. Don't straighten it and hold it still because this is gonna be bad for your partner. So I'm covering and I'm doing tsak, tsak, tsak. The good thing about this is the moment you stop here, if the opponent is pushing forward, push forward just and he's doing something where he starts striking, that's the moment where I can straighten up and I can flex the arm and stop him, but I'm not doing this when I'm delivering the strike. Okay, last, yes?
As the person in charge of the sword and buckler movement this year, good practice for what you are and aren't allowed to do. Do not strike with the edge of your buckler. Boss, no harder than you would hit with a pommel. Just a nice little tap. Very nice.
Yeah. Okay, grab a partner that's not gonna take your head off, and let's do a couple of minutes of this and finish up because we are late.
So for the actual overbind, whoever's getting it, because like she started to get it, but then I took control.
If she starts to get it, let her get it.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, basically give the initiative to whoever starts first. Like, wait, the moment you feel that someone has taken the initiative,
Okay.
that's also about recognizing initiative. Yeah. Yes?
Yeah. So what's that again? Did you get it?
Good. If you want to be a little bit more floaty, so you can have a little bit of flex in your legs, just bend the knees more. It seems strange, but standing like this is fine, but it's actually creating a more way too stable and hard connection to the ground, which means when you deliver a strike, it doesn't have anywhere as well to go, the force doesn't have anywhere to go except in his head. If your legs are bent, it's easier to transfer that force and not make this into too hard of a smack. And when you deliver the smack, it's easier to withdraw. So bend the knees a little bit more. As much as you're comfortable, but more than you think you should. So if this feels all right, bend them a little bit more. If you want the entry, can I go? Just, if you want the entry to be a little bit faster, especially when you're first your right foot forward and then you have to switch. The switch happens a little bit faster if it starts not with the leg, but if it starts with the foot. So here I'm doing this. Here it's almost like a prep stage, and when I do this, it's when you want to go, when you want to go directly, engaging the hips first, because we're as humans we have bilateral symmetry, and we have two similar sides, and to be able to do it very quickly, we have to switch them fast. So here, and that allows you to enter. Okay?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's very wrestling. That's very wrestling-like.
Yes, absolutely. Touch wrestling. To quote MS3 227A, Jobringer, all fencing comes from wrestling.
Right.
Okay, guys, you can do a couple of reps with a bit of a higher speed. Just don't kill each other. Just try a little bit faster so you can test your control. Last few reps. Nice. Okay, guys, let's get it for one last time. Okay, I hope that was educational and all your brain cells are still there. Yeah, that kind of training usually is a bit risky, especially when I'll note something. So buckler strikes are, in my opinion, very important to have as an option. That doesn't mean that you have to use them all the time, that you have to strike hard, but having that option in close quarters defines limits in buckler play that you, in sword and buckler, that you cannot have without them. Because you know, when you get this close and there is the danger, and even if you're engaged, if I've engaged this and I know that if I'm this close, there is still a danger and there is still a risk, I will behave differently in this distance. I will have a different plan. Even my entire way of entering would be different. So if we remove this as an option completely, we're not gonna have all those wonderful, strange things we start doing here because that option is actually viable. So I'm glad that you guys allow some buckler contact. We do the same. We allow it with control, the same way you hit with the pommel. If you train carefully, if you're not putting your whole body in it, you can do it safely. Any questions about anything we did today overall? I was so clear, or you didn't understand anything? And okay, that's good. Well, thank you very much for having me. Can we take a group photo and then I can send you off to the next one? Yeah, maybe that's perfect.